everyone. I am excited to be here with you. I'm inviting in Lindsey Fauntleroy, who is an author, educator, practitioner of acupuncture and flower essence, and the founder of Spirit Seed. So we are today talking about core program that's coming up. And also we are talking about idea of what it means of decolonization when it comes to psyche. So I'm just inviting Lindsay to be here. Great. So hi Lindsay. I just
Hi.
introduced you to them folks about, who you are. So welcome. Thank you for taking time.
Thank you for, I love for us to like hang out and chat. And so now I just feel like
I love us. I just love
I love
us.
us.
I don't care about it. It's
That's it.
fine. I know it might be work, but I love us. So
It's
this
I
is
love
great.
us. That's
I
it.
love us. Lindsay, actually, another thing I would share is this. Lindsay actually has been my personal mentor in Flower Essence, and we met a long time ago as I was going through my healing challenges, and she was practitioner of acupuncture and flower essence then, and without Lindsay's support, Minka wouldn't have existed, Core wouldn't have existed. So, in that way, I just also what I love about the ecology of Core is that all the people who are in it have this real stories together. It's not put together for the sake of put together. We didn't pick names. We
Mm-hmm.
we picked ourselves. We picked each other for the relationship that we get to have.
Yeah.
And I just also want to talk about. I just want to say that also.
Yeah. Like as you were saying that, what came up for me is this idea of like, I don't even know that we picked each other. Like there's these other
Yeah.
forces that like bring us back together to do the work over lifetimes or this within
Mm-hmm.
this lifetime and this idea of like your soul family. And I
Totally.
think that is this really understanding that the people who show up in a room together are meant to be in the room together. And can
Yeah.
we stay in the cauldron long enough to discover that,
Yeah.
to discover that purpose or that shared meaning?
Yeah, and that's so true, right? Because attraction is instant, and
Hmm.
we have to go through processes in which that we build to
Hmm.
for it to become deeper. And I think sometimes the shared passion, shared purpose can make that worth fighting for,
Yeah.
And I feel like connection like this is rare, and it takes work, and at the same time it can be such a joyous work because we know where we're
Hmm.
going and we know it feels good to be with one another.
Yeah.
So I have totally digressed from the topic of the conversation.
But this
Sorry.
is the topic, actually. This is
This
it.
can be the topic totally, but I
But
also want
and
to talk about what you were teaching, what we are teaching in one, and what you are teaching. So Lindsay is the lead facilitator faculty for archetype of racism,
Mhm.
and then I'm a part of that. I'm so happy. Um, and then she's also teaching ecological reciprocity. And when I was thinking about both of the things that you were teaching, that really relates to our psyche and what does it
Mhm.
mean to go through this process of unlearning so deeply lodged patterns and belief systems that we live with, right? And
Mhm.
oftentimes we talk about it as a Western mind or decolonial process, indigenous, and all these different names that we put to it. Um, and today, what I wanted to do was to really hear your experience and expertise in where you stand with that.
Mhm.
Why this is what you teach? What
Yeah.
makes you get up in the morning? What what makes you excited when because we get
Mm-hmm.
excited when we talk about these things, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I know
It's
why I
such a
get
charge.
excited, but and I want to know what makes you excited. And I, because you are just such a brilliant facilitator, and I'm not saying that because you're my friend. I'm saying that because that is something that we hear over and over and over from so many students, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a person as brilliant as you are, why these things? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for that.
I will always say that.
The thing that comes up for me, and you kind of said it, like when I first came on, is that, I love us. And I
Mm,
think that's what really drives the work. And honestly, sometimes it feels really daunting because you're just like, well, why am I studying all this stuff, teaching all this stuff? And like, I think all of us have those moments of either self-doubt or questioning or even just internal struggle where it just gets really hard
mhm,
to stay in the process, especially when we have all of these other forces coming at us, either financial responsibilities or family responsibilities, or like our, the job that's not our purpose but is aligned with our financial stability. Like there's so many things. And so this question of like, how do we persevere
mm,
through that, I think really does come back to like a really deep love.
mm,
And the more that I'm in this work, and with the things that I practice, the flower essence therapy, the acupuncture, the different modalities that I try to weave together, what really is at the core of all of that is this idea of um, psychological change,
mhm,
right? And
mhm,
being in a different mental space, emotional space, spiritual space. And so there's a therapy aspect to that,
mhm,
right? But
mhm,
it's only in the recent world, in the last 500 years or so, that this question of what are you up to at a soul level
mm,
was addressed by psychology,
mm,
right? So
mm,
this is a question that is as old as time, people wondering like, what is my place? What is my destiny? What is my path? What is
mm,
my contribution to the world? Why am I here? Why am I here
mhm.
now? Why was I born into this family? Why, all of those
Right.
questions
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
people have. And so only recently, through the age of enlightenment, big air quotes here,
I
did
know. I always laugh when I hear
total
that.
darkness, right, for a large majority of the world. I think Ma'afa is better word. Total
Yeah,
disaster.
yeah,
Total disaster that,
yeah,
you know, but
yeah.
it's only from that time that this infiltration of a way of understanding the place of the soul has come. It's very new. And
Mhm,
so I think what all of my work, whether we're talking about archetypal expression, whether we're talking about plant consciousness, whether we're talking about ancestral healing, all of these modalities, what it really comes down to is really expanding the lens that we look at psychology through,
mm,
and really understanding that if we only are looking at ourselves through the lens of a Western psychology,
mhm,
then we are going to be perpetuating the values of the system that was so destructive, certainly
mhm.
to my ancestors, but to many of our ancestors.
Right.
And so, is there another way? Can there be another way? What are the other ways that healers have addressed these questions of the
Mhm,
soul and supported well-being
mhm,
on all different levels?
mhm, mhm. Yeah. I love us. And
I
I
love
think the idea
us.
of and the idea of I love us is not, I mean, for those of you who's here, I'm pretty sure you don't take it this way, but I'm not saying I love us like just me and Lindsay, right? I love us is, to me, is an effort in expanding that, because we know, those of us who are here at Minka or in a who are part of this community and maybe other communities too, we know, this is the word, at the soul level, when something feels so right, that something
Mhm.
makes you feel home, something makes you feel like, oh, this is worth fighting for, this is worth
Mhm.
living for,
Mhm.
right? Even
Mhm.
when everything around me in, say, tangible sense feel crazy or whatever it is, this is something that we feel like this is worth staying for. I mean, I'm
Mhm.
not trying to be
Mhm.
dark, but there are days
Mhm.
it's just like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what is this really? What am I
Why?
doing
Why?
this for?
Why?
Why?
Right.
Why am I here?
Mhm.
Right?
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
when I think, sure, this is a leadership program, sure, this is an educational program, but I think we use these terms because it's the term that people can understand. But also we use these terms to try to expand the concept of what it is, what is education, and what
Mhm.
is being a leader is about. It's not what we think it is from the
Yeah.
Western framework. But what
Yeah.
if these are the way that we can truly feel home and we can increase
Yes.
the number of people that we can do it with, and we
Mhm.
can increase our capacity right now.
You back? I think
Yeah,
it froze out for a second. Yeah,
yeah,
and I think also like the idea of when we say I love us is like expanding the us. Like who like you know really
yeah,
seeing ourselves as integrated and interconnected with a
yeah.
larger soul story
Mm.
that includes the soul story of the natural world as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to really expand our capacity to lead in a way that honors all life as sacred,
Yeah.
and how to be intentional about that, to be present to that, and even within that to acknowledge the places where we're doing harm, not because we want to or because we intend to, but because it's the waters we swim in,
Yep. Exactly.
right? And it's
Yeah.
like, well, if we don't really know the waters that we swim in intimately, we're gonna just keep swimming, right?
Yeah.
And so being able to swim against the current and to swim against the current with others that
Mm-hmm.
are championing you and saying like, no, there is another vision for what's possible.
Yeah.
And we're planting seeds, we're
Yeah.
laying framework, and that
Yeah.
idea of seeing ourselves within a larger history, but also within a larger future, because some of the stuff that we are initiating, growing, planting, we might not even live to see the total blossoming of,
Yeah.
but we're
Yeah.
working in such a way that we're creating lineages and legacies to pick up where we left off. I think of like monarch butterflies. This has been like
Mm,
really really
mm,
big for me because there's this this the story of the monarch butterfly is that it leaves its home and then it goes and migrates and then it comes back to its place of origin, but like it takes several generations.
mm,
So the butterfly that comes home is like the great 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 grandchild of
mm,
the butterfly that left,
mm,
and
mm,
we
mm.
are too, right? So it's all
Yeah.
of that.
And that actually reminds me of the conversation I was having with JL, another faculty. She teaches radical ethics, and we were having a conversation. I'm so blessed that I get to have like beautiful conversations all the time, I have to say. But we are talking about dreams, and we are talking
Mm-hmm.
about how as we get older, as we do this work, it almost feels as though that we stop dreaming less and less. And we were kind of talking about why is that, you know, and I'm not going to go into that because, that's another topic. But in that, what I'm actually hearing from what you're saying is this echo of this story that we think, because we live in this Western framework, we think our dream is something that we individually has to achieve. When we dream something, that we have a responsibility.
Honey, I think I lost you. I don't know. I think I lost you, Aki. I don't know if other folks can hear you or if it's just